Yeah, so let's talk about the EVO lineup that was leaked, funny enough, by the YouTube thumbnail. So the EVO every year, they kind of pre-record a show where they invite like a few influencers, a few top players like Justin Wong, and commentators like Tasty Steve to do a announcement show. And it's usually really cool. They kind of like tease and they talk about, they hype up the titles. And it's scheduled for 114.25. And considering I'm posting this before 114.25, EVO themselves spoiled the announcements. And literally, so what happens when you can like schedule a YouTube video, and if you don't private it, if you just keep it like unlisted or something like that, it still shows the thumbnail of the actual YouTube video. So we know this is legit. This isn't like some like seedy person photoshopping this. This is actually from the EVO channel itself. Unless they're like trying to do like a 200 IQ play and like leak it to like bait everyone. But this is kind of what everyone expected, right? We got Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Guilty Gear. Those are the three biggest games last year. Which I'd be very surprised if they weren't included, right? Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, I think, was fourth biggest, right? Because it was on Sunday, which that makes sense. Now, I think the other four are more of a surprise, right? So Fatal Fury wasn't included in EVO Japan, even though it's going to be out during EVO Japan. So the question is it still too early? You know, EVO Las Vegas only comes out 2 months after EVO Japan. Is that an issue or is it not? Well, apparently not. So they're going to Fatal Fury there. Under Night and Birth, I'm actually like, you have to have some French bred representation. I think it's good just to have a varied cast of games. So I'm really glad Under Night's there. And it's also like pretty popular. You'd be surprised. And then I think the two biggest surprises for people were Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So that's a throwback title, right? The EVO's been doing a throwback title every year. Last year they had Third Strike. I think the year before that they had Ultimate Marvel 3. That's crazy to think Ultimate Marvel 3 is a freaking throwback title. But yeah, I feel like a boomer just saying that. But yeah, now it's MVC2, which makes sense because the Capcom Collection came out just a bit ago. There's some speculation. A lot of people thought it was going to be CVS2 because the Capcom Fighting Game Collection 2 is coming out, assuming before EVO. Well, actually, we don't know when exactly it's coming out. But the premiere game of that is CVS2, Capcom versus SNK 2. And, they chose MVC2. I think that makes sense, just because, you can always include it next year. If I had to guess, they're going to include CVS2 next year. I think it just makes sense. But really, we haven't had like a big MVC2 tournament in a while. And I think there's a lot of like new players that are kind of showing up and really improving. And I think it's going to be really cool to see who takes it. Everyone's like, I saw on Twitter, everyone's like, oh, the Wazzler won another EVO title. I don't even know if Justin Wong's going to enter, right? He's on the content grind. He's doing other stuff. I think you guys are going to be surprised about who wins, right? It's not going to be Yipes. It's not going to be Justin Wong. It's going to be someone that's been in the freaking trenches for the last like 10 years grinding this game out. It's going to be crazy, right? I think the other big surprise for a lot of people is MK1. Because no one plays the game. I mean, like, I won't say no one, because like if you look at the Steam charts, it is still somewhat populated. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of salt, but I think it makes sense. I'm sure NRS pays a lot of money to have their game included, so why not, right? If NRS supporting EVO and is what helps fund the FGC and helps it grow, you know what? Screw it. Include MK1 because you have all the games that I think should be in there anyways, right? Why not let MK1 have their shot in the spotlight? It'll probably be like the least under game, but whatever, right? This is the lineup from last year. Obviously, KOF 15 and Third Strike were the ones that replaced. I think it makes sense for Garou to replace KOF 15. KOF 15 is weird because it's kind of gotten like a resurgence. Like Justin Wong just published a video like, this is the greatest modern fighting game. It did really, really well. It got like 60K views. And it was about KOF 15, about the new DLC characters. And there's a lot of good reception for the game. So if any game were to be included besides MK1, it'd probably be KOF 15. But they already got spawned Fatal Fury. I'm not that salty about it, right? Riddle says no Smash. Yeah, no Smash. Sorry, guys. I don't think we'll ever see Smash, especially like the way Nintendo's been so standoffish, right? Because I have a feeling like a lot of these companies probably pay good amount of money to have their game at EVO, and I can never see Nintendo paying money to have their game at a tournament. I can never in a million years see Nintendo being like, "Here, Evo, take our money, host the tournament." Right? We can't even get them. We can't even like get the permission to do the game for free. Right? We can't even get permission to like host tournaments for the game, let alone the standard that Evo demands. So yeah, that's not gonna happen anytime soon. Although it would be cool. I'm actually a big proponent of having Smash in the fighting game scene because I think there's a lot of crossover, and there's a lot of potential to like get Smash players over the fighting games and vice versa. I came from Smash. My first competitive game, the first term I ever entered for a fighting game was Brawl. So, it's got a soft spot in my heart. But yeah, that's pretty much it. One thing a lot of people are talking about is like, what the hell is Garou? Like, Team Sonic Fox is like, I'm very curious to try and Fatal Fury. But what's the game about? And this is a pretty cool tweet that Hell Pockets had. The way I would summarize the game, I think it's the most Street Fighter 6 SNK game out there. I don't think I've ever played the game because I got a chance to play this at Evo. I don't think there's a game as close to Street Fighter 6 as Garou Mark of the Wolves, and that includes Street Fighter 5. I think this game is very, very similar to Street Fighter 6, where it's very system mechanic heavy. You basically have like the equivalent of Drive Impact. There's things that like it's very like reaction checky, just like Street Fighter 6, and very like Hell Pocket says, it's very resource intensive. So managing resources is a huge part of Street Fighter 6. Making sure you do the right combos, making sure you don't burn out. This game even has burnout, right? So if you use too much of your resources, you go essentially into burnout. And yeah, it's so similar to Street Fighter 6, which is really cool because it's kind of like its own spin. It's like its SNK spin on Garou, which is, SNK spin on Street Fighter 6, which is really cool. The other thing I think is going to be really important in this game is anti-airs. So jumping in SNK games, if you guys have ever played KOF or anything like that, it's really, really hard to do, right? It's really, really hard to anti-air because there's multiple. It's like Street Fighter 6, but everyone can like cut their jump short, and the amount of time you're in the air is less. So imagine Street Fighter 6, but jumps are stronger. Which is pretty good because I don't think jumps are that strong except for like a few characters, right? Like Akuma that can like alter the jump arc. I'm really looking forward to this game. I think like right now, if I had to guess, what am I going to focus on during EVO? It's probably going to be Garou. I'm actually going to go like super ham on this game. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, the top system's still in this game too. The idea of the top system, you like choose like a portion of your health bar, so either the top third, the middle third, or the bottom third, and you have to like, it's like where you get like powered up essentially, right? So you get access to like a new special move, and I think you do more damage, and you're like more meter efficient and that sort of thing. But yeah, it's called SPG. Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, I agree, Garlic. It definitely seems like a great mix between like old school SNK stuff and like more modern stuff, which I think is gonna be really cool. Yeah, that's a really good point, Mauricio. I'm actually surprised VF5 is not in it. I think if there's a game besides KOF that probably deserves to be in this, it's probably Virtual Fighter 5. Now that you mention it, Virtual Fighter 5 is part of EVO Japan, so maybe they're like, well, they got EVO Japan. Maybe they don't deserve to have EVO. I don't know, but that would be really cool. I was actually thinking about entering VF5 at EVO Japan. It's gonna be my first EVO Japan I'm going to. And it's like a 5v5 tournament, so I gotta find like 4 people to carry me. I hope I can use my clout and be like, any VF like strong players want to carry a carry a new player. I'll make some videos about your game. I'll talk about how cool your game is. Just put me on a team and like make me go like 3-2 or something. I just want to experience what it's like to like play in a 5v5 tournament because that sounds so cool. Like we all go to Japan and we enter a 5v5 tournament. Yeah, no sparking 0. That's a good point. That's never gonna happen. Alex, especially at these sub. Yeah, I'm definitely down for VF5. It's like it's a rebalance plus they have rollback netcode. So you could call it a remake, but it's not like a graphical remake. It's more. It does look better, but it's not like a full remake. Nah, I've never been to EVO Japan, but it's gonna be pretty cool. Anyways, yeah, let me know what you guys think about this EVO lineup. And like, share, subscribe, take care.